Hey, what's up, everybody? Um, I'm gonna be joined by Jamaya Pin WWE soon. I don't really know when. She has something kind of going on right now, so when she joins, she can just kind of fill in. But I'm here to give you my WWE Hall of Fame review. Um, this was actually a real long show. It went on from 7 to like midnight. It just got over a couple minutes ago. And I don't really know what to say about this show. And yeah, I'm just gonna kind of give my thoughts on it as I go along. Um, so I took notes on the show as I normally would. Um, we start off, and I guess maybe when Jamaya joins, she can just kind of talk about the stuff I'm talking about right now, and then she can join when she gets the chance. So this is just going to be a typical video by me, and then when Jamaya joins, it will be completely different. So we got the red carpet. This was like the big pre-show that took place at 7 o'clock. I keep thinking 6 o'clock. I don't know why. And the host of this was Michael Cole and Maria Menounos. Um, I actually do like Maria Menounos. I think she is a diehard WWE fan. You wouldn't probably think that she was, but if you
What are you up to
just doing this,
next time?
I'm just talking right now.
Take a break and take the dog out to the bathroom.
Okay.
When was the last time you took a bath?
I took it today. All right, I'm just gonna. This is gonna be a fail now. I can't really like just stop and come back because it's live, but I'll just be right back. I know I'm leaving doing this right now. Sucks. If Jamaya shows up, she can just talk. I'm just gonna throw my slippers on because I'm just doing this quickly. I just gotta take the dog out. All right, so Jamaya hasn't joined yet, so I'm just gonna continue this myself. All right, so I was talking about Maria Menounos, and how I respect her because she's a diehard wrestling fan, and then I guess if you look at it, you wouldn't really believe it. But if you actually listen to her talk about wrestling, she knows what she's talking about. She knows everything. I don't know if she's like a WWE. Obviously, I know she likes WWE more, but I don't know like if she is fully a WWE fan. Like if she thinks everything that they do is good, because it's obviously not. But yeah, that's about it. So I'm just gonna talk about this stuff. So Paige and Alicia, they do some red carpet interviews. Byron Saxton and Renee Young do the interviews, and Paige and Alicia Fox get interviewed, and Alicia Fox talks about what it's like to be at the Hall of Fame event, and talks about how she how she's been a wrestling fan since day one. I don't. They did so many of these. It's hard to remember like which one. And Paige talks about how she's looking forward to a big tag team match at WrestleMania, and she made her own little designs to the stuff. How she wears shoes now. I thought that was cool. And she talks about how she's going to be the anti diva, so that's why she did that. And then Renee Young interviews Lillian Garcia, and she talks about how she's been to so many of these, and she likes listening to the people's backstories, and she just likes how this is a big time event. And she also talks about how she's looking forward to seeing the Bushwhackers get inducted, which I'm not really going to go through who's in that tag team because I'm just going to cover it when I get there. And she said that she's been looked by the Bushwhackers before. I thought that was kind of funny. And then Jake the Snake Roberts gets interviewed, and he talks about how it was a big honor for him to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, and he loved every minute of it. It was a big moment for him, and now he likes coming this year as a fan. And he talks about Roman Reigns' main event in WrestleMania and how it doesn't matter if he wins or loses as long as you give it everything you got in the main event of WrestleMania. So I'd like that right there. And then Bret Hart gets interviewed, and he talks about being at the Hall of Fame. He talks about Macho Man Randy Savage getting inducted, and he says he's like the second wrestler that he misses that's passed away behind his brother Owen Hart. Yeah, I made a comment about Bret Hart about that before, and he probably hates my guts. So yeah, he hates my guts. And I don't really remember what else he says. So then Roman Reigns gets interviewed by Michael Cole and Maria Menounos. Maria Menounos, if she wasn't doing extra right now, something tells me she would at least be doing something with the WWE. If she couldn't do any extra, she would probably be doing something with the WWE. I don't think she'd be a wrestler, but she'd probably be a interviewer like Renee Young is. I kind of wish she would be, because she does a good job. Renee Young does a fine job, though. I'm just saying, like, it would be cool if she joined the WWE interview team. But Roman Reigns talks about how he's looking forward to main event in WrestleMania and how the butterflies are kind of starting to kick in and all that. And I thought that was good stuff. And it says it's like his big dream since he was a kid. And him and Brock Lesnar are going to tear it up. Talks about how the beta bit's going to be unpredictable now that actually he didn't say that, but I'm lying right there. I think he talked about some Hall of Fame stuff too. Talked about Rikishi getting into the Hall of Fame. And then DDP, Diamond Dallas Page, gets interviewed. I don't remember who he got interviewed by, and then he talks about the big advice is to tell the inductees not to get nervous because then you'll get choked up out there. And then he says there's a difference between getting excited and being scared. And if you're nervous, you're not breathing. And he says to take some deep breaths like I had to do. And he says that he hopes he gets inducted into the Hall of Fame soon as well. And it goes through the inductees. And then Dusty Rhodes and Eden. If you don't know who Eden is, because I never talked about her before, she's like the SmackDown announcer. They get interviewed by Michael Cole and Maria Menounos. And Eden is married to Cody Rhodes in real life, also known as Stardust. They just never referenced before because they've never had to. And they pretty much do Dusty Rhodes' catchphrases. They go through that. And Maria Menounos did a pretty good job because she saw some YouTube clips about that. So I thought she did a pretty good job doing that. So, yeah, that was cool. And then The Miz and Maurice get interviewed. If you don't know who Maurice is, she used to be a WWE diva here. And then she quit. Now she does other things. And The Miz is talking about how now they have to follow Dusty Rhodes, and he's the one that can do that. And he talks about his new movie, The Marine 4. I thought that was fine. And then Roddy Piper gets interviewed. He talks about the Bushwhackers, and he talks about how some stories about them. I don't really remember what they were, but it was cool. And then Brie Bella and Daniel Bryan get interviewed, and they talk about how when Brie Bella they did the soup thing on well, I guess on Friday, because it's technically Sunday now, and Brie yeah, what else? And they talk about Total Divas, and Daniel Bryan talked about inducting Connor the Crusher Mahalik into the WWE Hall of Fame, and it was talking about how he has to try to do it without crying, and he talks about how it's a good thing because that proves how much Connor's touched my life. Yeah, talking about Connor's even kind of, it's just hard. And then Booker T gets interviewed. This was really the plug that they had this what's it called? Vine like machine that they would take your picture with, and it like spins. And instead of calling it like a Vine machine, Booker T suggests they call it a Vine Rooney. And Sharmell was there. I thought that was cool. Yeah, that's kind of all I had to really say about that. There's really nothing to say. That's all they really did. I thought it was funny. So then John Cena and Nikki Bella get interviewed. I'm actually surprised they referenced that they were going to be together for this, because they don't even reference that they're together in the WWE. So this is probably the only reference we're going to get of that. And John Cena talks about how this is a big event for him. He likes this, and he's looking forward to seeing like Connor getting inducted and Arnold Schwarzenegger. And Nikki Bella talks about Alundra Blaze getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. And yeah, I thought it was good stuff. I'm not insanely saying a lot, because a lot of them said a lot of the same things, and there was so much of this stuff. I don't remember who said what. Big Show gets interviewed. He says that it's so weird that some of his friends are being inducted into the Hall of Fame, and he's still on the road day to day. And it says that it makes him feel weird, makes him feel old too. And he talks about the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, and that's kind of all right there. I mean, that's really what he says. It says this is his favorite night of the year too. And then Christian gets interviewed. I forgot to mention I'm just not going to go through the others, but Christian got interviewed by Renee Young, and he said that he's been, if you're wondering where he's been, he said he's trying to get healthy again, which is kind of weird, because I thought he couldn't wrestle anymore because of the concussions. Maybe that was I don't know what it is, but he said he's trying to get healthy again, so that means he's going to wrestle, right? I don't know. And then he talks about how he was doing some Haven stuff with Edge. And if you know what Haven is, it's a show on Sci-Fi that I might watch at some point. I'm not sure. But that was that. And then Mark Henry gets interviewed. And he had his son Jacob with him. And he talks about the Hall of Fame, talked about Rikishi going in. And his son got to say some stuff, talking about how it's amazing to hear these legend stories. And his son actually knows a lot about wrestling, probably more than even Marie. And I got some good news about that, by the way. And then Lita gets interviewed, and she talks about how it feels like she can't believe it was a year ago, that last year that she got inducted, and she's looking forward to seeing Alundra Blaze get inducted in Macho Man Randy Savage, and talks about how she's going to be there by herself tonight because she's single. I hope she didn't come by herself. I'm assuming she didn't. She probably came by herself. But that's really what she said. JBL gets interviewed by Renee Young, and Lena got interviewed, by the way, by Michael Cole and Maria Menounos. But JBL talks about how he climbed a mountain again. And he says that it's an honor to see Macho Man Randy Savage go in, and he says that tonight he's there with Ron Simmons, his former tag team partner in the APA. But Ron Simmons was called Farouk then. And then Jerry the Kim Lawler gets interviewed, and he talks about they make some jokes about how he had to forcibly dress himself. And then we found out some good news. See, originally I was dreading as it got closer to Mania before this point, I was dreading because I had heard Eva Marie was going to be the host of the Hall of Fame. We even do these free writes in school, and I talked about that there, and I said that my intro to writing teacher would have been a better option than Eva Marie. And she took it as a compliment, but it really isn't a compliment. And I even said that it wasn't. She said she's going to throw in the name in the hat next year. Not really. Then she says, no, so Lawler says that he actually is going to be hosting the Hall of Fame. And he even references by saying I should dye my hair red and all that. And I thought that was awesome. I think he said, though, there was a last-minute thing that he found out that he was doing it. He wasn't expecting it, but he did find out. He says he remembers how long he's been in the WWE, but he doesn't remember how long he's been doing these. He's been hosting the Hall of Fame. So then, yeah, that was cool. But I was happy about that. That made me happy. I was so happy about that. And then Jimmy and Jay, the Usos, get interviewed, and they talk about inducting their dad into the Hall of Fame, Rikishi. Ron Simmons gets interviewed, talks about Macho Man Randy Savage going in, and he talks about some other things I don't remember. Randy Orton gets interviewed by Michael Cole and Maria Manu. Oh, and when Jerry the King Lawler got interviewed, they made sure to mention that they're both undefeated at WrestleMania because Michael Cole did beat Jerry the King Lawler at WrestleMania 27 to stay undefeated. So, who gets interviewed? Randy Orton's now getting interviewed. He talks about his match with Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. Says they're going to tear the house down. He says he respects Seth Rollins. And he has a new girlfriend now. I think I knew he had a new one anyways. I thought it was JoJo though. So I guess that's not, I don't know if that was true or not. I think people said that it was JoJo, but his girlfriend looks like she's like 19, like my age. So yeah. And he talks about how he gets better. Michael Cole talks about Randy Orton continues to get better and better with each of WrestleMania. That was kind of all that really happened there. The Hogan family gets interviewed. Hulk Hogan, Brooke Hogan, and Nick Hogan, I think his name is. Hulk Hogan talks about how it's an honor to be inducted Macho Man Randy Savage into the Hall of Fame because Macho Man Randy Savage, not only did they click in the ring, but they've developed a friendship outside the wrestling business. And he also talks about how he also babysat his kids. And Brooke Hogan says the same thing, and it was a travesty to lose him. And Nick Foley, I don't really remember. No. Nick Hogan also says this. I don't remember what he says. So then Michael P.S. Hayes gets interviewed by Michael Cole and Maria Menounos. And I don't remember what he says. Not a thing. And then the Warrior family gets interviewed, Diana and the Ultimate Warrior's two daughters. I don't remember what they say really either. And then we get to the real show. I got like 10-minute break actually. I watched the whole show with no breaks except for that point. So Jamaya pin's still not on, so I have to make a note to ask about the red carpet while I'm here. I don't even know if she's going to be on. So, yeah. All right. So I'm not going to wait for her to talk about the Hall of Fame because I'm just going to talk about it and then I'll just go back and we'll touch up on these things. So you'll hear her thing and then you'll hear my thing. So we get the actual Hall of Fame. It went on from about 8 o'clock to midnight. Went on a while. And it's hosted by Jerry the Kim Lawler. Thank God it wasn't even Marie. I'm going to make sure to mention that in school. Then we get the big Hall of Fame video package, shows out the inductees that gotten in, and then talk about the inductees that are going to get in. I thought it was a well done video package. It was probably the same one as they showed last year if they had one, but yeah, I thought it was good. So we get the first inductee. It's Rikishi, and he's being inducted by the Usos. The Usos come out. I can't tell which one from which. So I'm just gonna say Jake Uso says this, and then hold on, I'm getting is this Jamaya? All right, hold on, my phone's glitching out. I thought I invited her. I gotta invite Jamaya again. So the Usos though, okay, I'm just gonna do this real quick. Okay, this should be her. All right. So I invited her, so she should be joining us very shortly. Well, me very shortly. So for the one viewer, you're not just gonna get me talking about this. You're gonna get the others, and if you wanna, oh, there she is. What's up? Hello. What's up?
What's up?
Yeah, like I said, so you said to start, so I already started. But I just want to mention that like the first half of the video, well, the first few minutes of the video has none of us on it because I had to take the dog out to go to the bathroom. So, yeah. Okay.
All right.
But while you're here, I just finished talking about the red carpet. Do you want to go through it right now, or you want to just jump to the Hall of Fame?
You can just go to the Hall of Fame.
Okay. All right, so we'll just go through the Hall of Fame. I kind of did the best I could to talk about this. It was kind of hard to remember what everybody said doing this. It really was. But I have a question. Did you watch the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
How happy were you to find out that Jerry the King Lawler was the host?
Super excited.
I know. I bet once you said that on the red carpet, you were like, you marked out, didn't you?
I was like, thank fucking God.
So was I. Like, it was awesome. Like, when Jerry the King Lawler announced it, because I was not looking forward to the Hall of Fame. Like, I was in an extent, but when I knew Eva Marie was going to host it, I was dreading it, because I had a feeling, you knew she was going to do bad.
Yeah.
And actually, when they were going through the red carpet and they cut to Eva Marie, I just was like, that made me remind me she was hosting the Hall of Fame. I was like, yep, I forgot she was hosting the Hall, because you know how like it would, when someone would talk and it would just show the red carpet and then you could see people in the background. They were like the background people. They were talking about they were showing like everybody. So thank God it was Jerry the King Lawler. And I think Jerry the King Lawler, I think originally she was supposed to host it, because I think, didn't Jerry the King Lawler too say something like he didn't find out about it until a few minutes like before the show or something?
No, I don't think he said that.
I remember he said something about that. I think or was he just, but he did mention, I think he did reference that though, because he was talking about how he should dye his hair red and all that. I think he was referencing that even when he was going to be the host. Alright, so let's just talk about the Hall of Fame. Now I have no idea how we're both going to talk about this, because I have a feeling if one of us talks about one thing, then no one's going to want to hear about the other one talk about it, because we're pretty much repeating what the other said. So how do you want to go about talking about this? I have no clue how to do this.
Just state a few quotes, and then we just say how we thought on the speech.
Okay. So we get the first inductee. It's Rikishi, and he's being inducted by the Usos. I guess you can go, since I've been talking the whole video and I kind of need a break. You can go first. You talk about Rikishi.
I thought it was a good speech. I thought the Usos were funny when they inducted him, and I just want to say, fuck the Smarks for booing Roman Reigns when he said Roman Reigns' name. Fuck you.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it pissed me off.
It's one thing to do it during the shows, but this
Yeah,
is like Hall of Fame.
yeah,
This is the
the
big
Hall
deal.
of Fame. Like he just wants to honor his fucking family. Stop being fucking jackasses. But I didn't think it ran on too long. I thought it was nice, and it was the right amount of time. And the dance at the end was pretty funny. It was fun to see, you know. So
Oh,
hey,
yeah. Um, I kind of liked how they talked about how they did the stink face, got them through college, paid
yeah,
for
it was funny.
the gifts. Um, and Mikishi coming out, I thought he was good. Talking about all this stuff. I don't really want to talk about the Hall of Fame too much because I don't really want to because probably people still want to see it, so I don't want to talk about it too much. You know what I'm saying? Hello? Oh, she has the mic on mute. I'll just tell her again.
Oh, they wouldn't come on it if like they didn't want to like have spoilers. So it's a review. So they
Oh
if
yeah, good
you're
point.
they would, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So they probably already like saw it or want to know what happened on it if they click it on a review. So
Oh yeah. Um, but I liked what he said. Yeah, when he thanked everyone, he thanked his father. I don't remember his father by name. I think it was a weird name. Not like a I don't you get what I'm trying to say. Um, he thanked his family, Umaga. And we got an Umaga chant. I never thought we would hear an Umaga chant. Um, he thanked the Wild Samoans. He thanked the Rock. It's kind of a shame the Rock couldn't be there though.
yeah,
Because he had to do, he had to do the SNL thing. Um, and he thanked the Usos. I don't know if he thanked them, but he said like he like pretty much like wished them good luck without through the rest of their career. He might have thanked them though too. Um, and he talked about all the characters he had, all the Samoan heritage he went through, um, and what else he talked about? And he thanked Manu. I vaguely remember Manu. Wasn't he the guy that was like in Legacy with Orton and Rhodes?
uh, yeah, I think so. I'm not really sure.
I think it was him. But I remember he said Manu. Um, who else he say? He said Reigns, which they booed the building. And it's a Hall of Fame. I don't think you should be booing someone. Um, just saying.
Yeah.
He thanked Yokozuna. Um, so I thought it was good. I thought he had a good speech. Like I said, it wasn't too long. Now let's get to another speech that was kind of all over the place, if you know what I'm talking about. Um, now we have Larry Zabisco, and he was inducted by Bruno Sammartino, and I'll just cover this real quick, if that's okay. But Bruno talks about Larry Zabisco. I'll just talk about what Bruno said because I don't even know where to start with Larry Zabisco.
Yeah, it
Um,
was so fucking long. Oh my god.
um,
And he was talking about. I was watching Joe Cronin, and he was like, he was talking about how I broke into Bruno Sammartino's, yard or something, and then it said it sounded like he had to get fucked by Bruno Sammartino to get like trained by Bruno Sammartino and stuff. And I was like, Jesus, it does sound like it when you like think it all over.
yeah.
Shit. Yeah.
Yeah, but Bruno talked about how this guy was like 16 years old, and he just randomly showed up at his house, um, and wanted to be a wrestler. And Bruno was telling him just to finish high school and all that, and he even mentioned too that he was on the high school wrestling team, and then he was done with high school, and he wanted him to finish up high school. No, wait, what am I saying? He wanted him to go to college in case like he got injured or something, so he would have something to fall back on. So then he did that. And then they trained together, and then Larry Zabis he sent them to like the territories, which was what pretty much the indie scene was called back then, and then they realized he was good, so Bruno at the time the WWE was called the WWF. Had Vince McMahon Sr., who was running the company at the time, get called up, and then they had like a tryout match, and then Larry Zbyszko turned on him, and then he talked about how he became like one of the greats for years, and then he became a commentator, was good at that, and now he's hung up his boots. And then we get his speech. Oh my gosh. I don't know, like, his speech was all over the place. You can't deny that. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Because I don't even think he wrote a speech, because normally they come up with like a paper, and he didn't write a speech. I have a feeling he thought maybe, hey, I'm a commentator, I'm gonna nail this. That was not the case. He was probably speechless too. So I don't know. What do you think what happened? Do you think that's what happened?
I don't know.
Yeah, it was all over the place. He kind of sounded like he was stalking Bruno Sammartino in a way, because he's like, oh, I always went to his house. Talks about when he went through the shrubs, and I think he said that like 3 times.
Maybe he did.
No, I think he said no. He didn't. No, I didn't say he did it 3 times. I think he said that 3 times.
I said maybe he did stalk him.
Oh, maybe he stalked him. Yeah, probably. Because his mother like gave him his address, which I thought it's weird that his mother gave him his address. I don't even know it. And then he talks about like how Bruno Sammartino like broke his neck, but this isn't true and couldn't wrestle anymore. Became a commentator, which I don't think is true because I have the Macho Man Randy Savage DVD, and he wrestled Macho Man Randy Savage in that DVD. So what the hell is he talking about right there? I don't think Bruno was ever a commentator, was he?
He's probably talking about himself, maybe.
It's not. I think he said Bruno though.
I don't know.
He was just all. I don't even know. I can't really just. You pretty much have to see his speech to like know, because I can't even explain his speech. Can you?
No.
Because it's just it's all over the place. So it was just I don't know what do you think was more funny, this speech or Mr. T's last year? Did you laugh during the speech, or was it just me?
I was like, what the fuck is he doing?
Whose was worse?
They're neck and neck.
I know. Alright, next speech on the inductee is Alundra Blaze, and she was inducted by Natalya. I actually am not. I guess don't mind Natalya inducted her. I don't really know who else really could have. I mean, I was actually expecting Eric Bischoff to induct her, but I don't know if he's still with TNA or not, so that could be why. I don't think he is with TNA, is he?
I don't watch TNA.
Oh. No, but that could be why Eric Bischoff didn't, because I just thought it was kind of random Natalya did. She just kind of talks about what Alundra Blaze did in her career, and then she talks about this awesome story that she takes from Arn Anderson, and she talked about how she was like cutting a promo, and she was like doing like these takes about it, and Arn Anderson like rushed her about it or something, and she went after him with her high heel, and Arn Anderson was scared of her. That was awesome.
Yeah, he hid behind the chair.
I know when she comes out to mention, he like hiding behind the chair. So then she comes out, and she actually doesn't look. She looks pretty good. But
Yeah, I was like, how old is she?
I know she does not look like she was in the Attitude Era.
Before, like, right? Like, a little bit before, too.
So she comes out and talks about how originally she wanted to be a stunt double, like Damien Mizdow, but not that type of stunt double. But then,
Not a stunt double now.
yeah, well, he was. Um, and then, but the guy, I don't remember his name. I'm terrible at remembering names. Maybe I should have written it on in the book, but I didn't want to. Um, the guy said you should be a professional wrestler, and then she was like, okay. So then she wrestled for this company, and got no money out of it. Um, and she was living in her car, and it actually ended up getting repossessed. And then she got hired to the NWA. I think that's what she said, the NWA. It was a different company for some money, and then she got called up to the WWF, and she won the titles like 3 times, and she thanks like a lot of people. She thanked Don Anderson. She thanked Leilani Kai. Remember was mentioned. Um, Trying to remember who else she thanked. You can help me out here too, because she thanked a lot of people. Her husband, who we find out is in the army, or
Yeah, and look who they plan to right when that happened. You got John Cena, the first one to stand up.
oh yeah. Um, and so, oh, you know what? I actually, we just remembered too. The Rikishi, I think Rikishi meant about Rikishi's Hall of Fame speech. I think he mentioned Rusev.
Yeah, I was like, did you say Rusev?
So that kind of so Rusev is in that family, I guess.
I was like, what?
I don't think Rusev is a Samoan. I
Yeah,
know he's definitely not Russian. He's Bulgarian.
yeah, he's Bulgarian.
So I don't know what I don't
Alright.
know. So I don't know.
On that one.
I don't know where he was going with that. So then well, she thanked May Yun. I remember she no, not May Yun. Fabulous Moolah.
Mae Young.
Yeah, I screwed up.
Mixing up the old women.
Um, I don't remember who else she thanked. I think a lot of people. I think she thanked some people that still work for the company. Um, and then she talked about throwing the WCW, well, throwing the women's title in the trash on WCW. Um, and she said that she did that because she pretty much wanted to keep her job, but, which I thought was a good answer. What do you think?
Yeah.
And then she bring she has Natalia bring out a trash can. Why don't you talk about what happened there?
She pulls out Ron Penny and she says, why would anyone think of women wrestling in these? And she throws them in. She picks up some JR's barbecue sauce and then she puts a plug for the barbecue sauce. And then she picks up the WWF women's title. And then she like kind of takes a shot at the Divas title. She's like, "This is what a real women's wrestling belt looks like." And I was like, "Yes, tell them because a butterfly is not fucking cool. Makes it look like they're a bunch of fucking 6-year-olds wrestling over a belt, okay? Not women
I
or."
agree.
So I was like, "Yep, this is the speech of the night for me right now."
I know, but that's not really saying a lot though. Wakishi didn't have a bad speech, but
Yeah, I'm just saying. Thank
um,
her. Thank her for.
and then she talked about how she's like been the champ. She makes like these jokes how she's been the champion pretty much for 20 years, because I guess technically she didn't lose it. Um, Talks about like all this stuff, and then she kind of ended her speech. I thought it was a good speech though. She had the best speech out of the first two.
Mhm.
Oh man, let me get the next speech, and I think you know what the next one was. Do you remember what it was, or do you?
Bushwhacker?
Um, it was actually Connor the Crusher
Oh.
Mahalik, and he was inducted by Daniel Bryan. The award was presented by Diana Warrior, and accepted by Steve Mahalik. Why don't you talk about this one, and then I'll kind of join in as you do it.
Dana came out and talked about the Warrior Award and how Ultimate Warrior would be so happy and proud.
I thought it was funny when she said how she had like other plans.
And then Daniel Bryan comes out and then starts to talk about Connor, and then he starts to cry a little bit, and then I start to cry a little bit, and then I think Daniel Bryan, I don't know what, like, he said something to make me cry, but I kind of forgot what it was. I think it was when he said that you could like see that life in him and stuff like that. He started crying. Then his dad came out. He said he knows Connor's looking down, but he couldn't be there physically, but he knows he's there in looking down, stuff like that. I don't remember the exact words, so I'm kind of paraphrasing. So he says that he's a fighter, or that he was a fighter, stuff like that. And then he brings his little brother Jackson out, and then he says he has one thing to say to his brother. He says, "I love you, Connor," and then I just started crying because that was so cute.
Yeah, it was. I like the story, how he talked about that YouTube video that he made saying he wanted to meet Daniel Bryan, and it like went viral. So then he got to meet Daniel Bryan, and I think he said he met him when like he was doing the whole no thing, and he said, and Connor was talking about because obviously he didn't know wrestling was fake, obviously. Well, not fake, but not real. Um, So he was talking about how he didn't like how the fans were chanting yes to Daniel Bryan because Daniel Bryan didn't want him to because he was doing the no chant at the time.
Yeah.
And he told about the story about when he put him in the well, I'm just gonna call it the yes lock, but it was called the no lock back then. Um, and he talked about the story how he punched Triple H right in the face. Um, and people can say that his father's speech wasn't the best because he wasn't really talkative much, but
Yeah, talking about his dead son. I don't think he's gonna be fucking stone cold entertaining the shit out of y'all.
yeah,
Alright.
he did better than Larry Zbyszko though. But
I got emotions from it.
yeah. Um so yeah, it was just pretty much an emotional speech. Definitely check this speech out. Um so now we get the next one. It's the Bushwhackers, and were inducted by John Laurinaitis. What do you think about their speech?
Power. People power. People power was freaking awesome. But I thought the speech was funny to me. Sometimes it entertained me. I thought it was decent. That's all I got to say about it.
Yeah, I bet people though. The reason it was kind of tough for me at first was to get in this beach because I was still feeling emotional over Connor, so it was kind of tough for me at first to get into it. Then I got into it as time went on. Do you agree? Is that how you feeling, or
What did you say?
I was still feeling emotional after Connor, so it took me a little bit of time to get into it.
Oh yeah.
But it felt like that they were kind of being a mixture of themselves and their characters all at once.
Yeah.
Um, and I liked the stories that they told, like how Butch um, talked about the story about how he wrestled. Who do you wrestle? Trying to remember. I don't remember who he wrestled, but he wrestled someone, and then like in Samoa, and then he got like he was about to get like jumped or something, and then he talked about and then when Luke got like eliminated from the Royal Rumble match, and he just like walked out, and then Butch had to wrestle the match next to 25 minutes, and they got the same payday. That was funny. Um, they had like a lot of funny stuff. Um, so yeah, overall, definitely check out the Bushwhackers is a good speech. And then we get the next one. Um, this isn't really anything really to talk about. It's Tusa. I don't know how to say his name. Tusama Fujinama.
To Fujinami.
Okay. And he was inducted by Ric Flair. I think they were running. I think they didn't. They were kind of running out on time, so they wanted to make. They made this one quick. Because even Ric Flair talking was pretty quick. So just kind of, we'll just talk about this kind of quickly.
You want me to talk?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought the speech was good. He didn't really know how to speak good English, so that's nothing really for you to talk about.
Yeah.
Kind of messed up on some words, a lot of them. Couldn't really get a whole lot of sentences out of him, but it was okay for his standards and what he's able to reach to.
Yeah. That's probably why it was short too, because he couldn't talk too long.
Yeah.
So it's just I mean, it wasn't a bad speech. It was just a short speech.
Did you mark out when you found out that Hideo Itami was going to be in the Battle Royal at WrestleMania? Because I did.
Um, I actually did. I thought it was never.
Thought it was going to be Neville. Like, I was like, what Hideo?
Yeah, I like. So I think they probably thought it would be too predictable if they gave it to Neville. Um, and I think it's. I don't know. I don't think he's gonna win though. Fortunately, and I don't think he's gonna. I don't think he'll be on the main roster because I think it's too soon.
Yeah.
But at least he
No,
gets a chance. I hope he get. Huh?
I said he's not ready. I'm just kidding.
Well, it's not that he's not ready. I just think it's too soon. He just got in.
Joking. I was trying to, like, be funny, because how they say Roman Reigns isn't ready.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I still think he needs some work on the microphone. I think he needs to get better at that a little bit.
But he's progressing pretty
Huh?
well. He's progressing pretty well.
Yeah. I just don't think if they put him up now, I think it'll just be a failure, especially if they drop the ball with him.
And did you see, do you know what he did to beat Finn Balor in the tournament for the,
Yeah, he needed to go to sleep.
Yeah, I saw it on video. He did the GTS, and like everyone went crazy. Like it was so loud. Everyone went crazy. Everyone popped.
Yeah. I thought actually he was gonna induct this guy into the Hall of Fame.
Well, he talked on the video package.
Yeah, that's why I just thought he was going to because he talked about he was like a heel for him, but didn't happen. Okay. Now we get the next one. I didn't understand why this was next. I think you get. I don't know if you see where I'm going with this. It was. I mean, I think I can understand it. It was Randy Savage inducted by Hulk Hogan, accepted by Lanny Poffo.
I was like, what? It's not.
Huh?
Like what? It's not gonna go on last.
I actually thought they cut some stuff out or something. Because I remember I messaged you. Did they skip Kevin Nash?
No, I didn't see it until like an hour later, so I didn't reply.
Did you see the whole thing then?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's why you couldn't come on here earlier, did you? Could you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Stream. The stream messed up. My Wi-Fi messed up, so I had to rewind it.
You know what I think it might be? I wonder if we're both using the same network. Because yesterday I couldn't even watch.
My Wi-Fi. It was my Wi-Fi. That's
Okay. Um,
my laptop stopped working and getting connection in my phones.
okay. Um, because yesterday I was trying to watch the WrestleMania Today thing and it kept like
Well,
messing.
I got something in today, so
Yeah. So I don't know what it is. Um, So I'm hoping that WrestleMania is all good. I can watch
Yeah,
the whole show.
network was messing up with people. Like I went on Tumblr and they said their network was messing.
So yeah, I hope that WrestleMania doesn't mess up on the network. Well, tonight because it's 1 in the morning right now. But um, if it does,
Excited.
huh?
I'm excited.
Me too. I can't wait for Mania. Um, go because this is, and then we get to watch the War after Mania, and then Tuesday I get to watch. I don't know if I'm gonna watch wrestling at all Tuesday because I probably need a break. Huh?
I said all this wrestling.
I know. I watched. Hey, I got it worse than. I've kind of made it worse for myself though because I watched the Randy Savage DVD this week. Not the whole thing, but I watched disc one. So
Yeah, I tried to watch Tough Enough today, and then I was like, "Fuck it," and then I just went to sleep and took a nap.
I know all this wrestling, but it's worth it.
Still fun though. Yep, still fun.
Um, but yeah, Randy Savage. Um, I think the only reason they didn't put him on last is is maybe he wasn't actually there or something.
Yeah.
Which I wish. That's the one thing I wish is that he was actually there because it would have been better. I mean, it was still good, but it would have been better if he was there.
Agreed.
But Hulk Hogan comes out. I'm just gonna. Do you want to just talk about Hogan because I kind of already touched up on it on the red carpet talk.
Uh, he said how Macho Man was his friend, and um, I don't remember a lot of what Hogan said. I know Lanny Poffo just did a whole bunch of poems and stuff,
Yeah, yeah.
and he
Um,
talked about his mom a little bit and how great she was in DVD, and she was pretty,
and he
pretty good.
talked about how Macho Man Randy Savage never got to set things straight with Vince McMahon and the Ultimate Warrior did. Um,
He said he was gonna say what he knew Macho Man had in his heart and stuff.
he didn't really do that though. It felt like to me.
Yeah,
Maybe that's why he didn't go on last.
yeah,
I mean, he wasn't bad or anything, but he had the opportunity to say what Macho Man Randy Savage was saying, but he just talked about a bunch of poems.
yeah. I cried though because he started to cry and talk about
Yeah,
Macho Man, and I miss Macho Man.
yeah, I do too. I just saying like they did. He did say though to the fans how they wanted on time too, so that was probably why he didn't get this that long either. All right. So the next one is we get Arnold Schwarzenegger inducted by Triple H. Um, I thought Triple H was awesome in his speech. Obviously, I know you.
Awesome at everything.
Huh?
Triple H is awesome at everything.
I liked how he talked about He's like, the only reason I have a big nose is because, um,
Arnold punched him so hard and so many times.
yeah,
Your nose wasn't as big.
um, and he said he's still trying to go to the doctors about it or something. Um, it was just amazing. So then, Arnold Schwarzenegger comes out to talks about like how he dreamed about doing all this stuff that he has accomplished. I'm not going to go into detail about it because everyone should know who Arnold Schwarzenegger is. So if you don't know who he is, then look it up.
Google is your friend.
Yeah, and he says that this is like one of the biggest accomplishments, and he talks, and then he says some of his catchphrases. Anything I missed?
I'll be back. That cool though.
Huh?
He's like, I'll be back, and not I'll be back. He's like, I'll be back.
Yeah, because he's gonna be a Mania tomorrow.
Yeah.
But I thought this was good stuff. And then we get the last one. It's Kevin Nash being inducted by Shawn Michaels. I thought Shawn Michaels was.
No, I was like, is Shawn Michaels gonna be there? I hope Shawn Michaels is there. And it was
Yeah,
like, what? And I was like, yeah, Shawn Michaels.
I thought and you kind of mentioned a good point, sort of how it's a professional wrestler inducting a professional wrestler into the Hall of Fame, and somebody's gonna get in trouble.
Yeah, and like I don't know, was he kind of seemed like he was kind of pissed off about something.
Yeah, I don't know what. Cause he
No,
was kind of.
like I don't want to get in too much trouble. And did you notice how they bleeped out WWF um when Rikishi
Yeah,
speech? I was like,
and they
oh,
did it on everybody.
network. It's on the network, so you shouldn't be able to bleep it out. I mean, it's gonna be on the network. Say WWF on the network anyway.
Yeah, I don't really get why they do that because it's on their network. It's on something they own. I understand it for like DVD purposes. I understand it for that, but it's not like I don't know. Maybe they can still be sued
Maybe.
because I bet they were going to get sued if they didn't change it. Um. Anyhow, um, he was talking about like how he found Kevin Nash under this different name. What was the name? I don't remember what it was. Remember?
Vinny Vegas, I think that was
Okay.
what it was.
And he's like, and he went to Rick Steiner, who worked for WCW at the time, and he called him on the phone, the pay phone, because they didn't have cell phones back then, and he met Kevin Nash, and he became Diesel, and I I think this is when you were talking about how Shawn Michaels was pissed off because when he was talking about putting the title on Kevin Nash and how he's getting over, and Shawn Michaels like we're getting over, but he's like no, he's getting over.
He
I
was
understand.
like, and when like a big man takes you in the shower,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
worry about.
yeah, yeah. And then yeah, he talked about that. Kevin Nash thanked him for everything he did for him, and then he said that if Kevin Nash was in the didn't go to the WCW, go in the NWO, there'd be no DX, there'd be no yeah. And then he brings out Kevin Nash. Um, everything he said was kind of true about the NWO situation. Um, because technically they wouldn't have to make DX if you know.
Mhm.
Um, they did talk about too when Alundra Blaze dropped the women's title in the trash was the start of the war. I have a feeling that if they didn't do the NWO, that would not have been as that big of a deal
Yeah.
because I just feel like them doing the NWO because they were starting to beat them in the ratings. So yeah. So then Kevin Nash comes out and talks about how the only reason he got into the wrestling business was just for money. Um, which I'm not gonna trash him for that. Um, I bet you are you gonna trash him for it or no?
No, at least he was actually entertaining.
And at least he admitted it. I bet some wrestlers wouldn't admit it.
He didn't try to like hide it. No, I love the business, my whole life, and
I
I
don't
was
know.
1 years old.
He probably wasn't even a fan when he came in. He
So
was probably
I
like
heard like, oh, you make that much as a wrestler? I want to be a wrestler.
I bet that's why. You know what I was just thinking about? I bet that's why Cameron, Eva Marie.
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck both of them.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Not fuck you on. Talking about the names they say, not fuck you on. Talking about the girls.
Okay. Um. So then he talks about how like he was pretty much a fail in WCW because he was like Oz. And did you see what he looked like when he was Oz? That was. It seems like Dusty Rhodes was like terrible. He came up with like terrible ideas
Yeah,
because he came up with that. Didn't he come up with the Shockmaster too?
I think so.
So he just came up with bad ideas. And the Shockmaster was bad because I was watching that at midnight on demand, and they made fun of it. Um. Anyhow, um. So then he talks about how that phone call he got, and he even says that when he helped Shawn Michaels win the Intercontinental Championship, that was the most he did than when he was in the WCW for 3 years. That's pretty sad. Um, and then he talks of, remember, like he talked about how him and wasn't it Pat Patterson? Him and somebody went off and got drunk somewhere. Who was it?
Wasn't it X-Pac?
I don't think it's X-Pac, but he thought he got called to go to Vince McMahon's house and he thought he was gonna get fired. He said he even fell asleep on his couch. Um, and then he said they were gonna put the title on him. So then it happened. Beat Bob Backlund in 8 seconds. Um, don't know. I'm not. I don't know if I agree with him beating him in 8 seconds, but made him look like a monster. I'm not going to complain about it. And then he left for WCW and raised hell.
Yeah.
And then the whole Scott Hall, afterwards Scott Hall, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, and X-Pac all come out and have like a big reunion. It was awesome.
Yep. Click.
Even though technically X-Pac wasn't in the click when
Yeah.
it was.
He's just an extra.
Yeah. That was cool though. It was a cool moment. And then that was the end of the Hall of Fame. So overall, what did you think?
Freaking hours.
How long was it?
I was expecting it to be 2 hours, and then because I was gonna watch the Kids' Choice Awards with my brother, and then I was like, no, it's not off yet, so stay in my fucking room till midnight.
Did you even want to watch that or no?
Watch what?
The Kids' Choice Awards.
I was going to, but
And then this was on for like 3 hours.
it's 4 hours.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, 8 to 12.
Actually, wait, 5 hours because of the
Yeah,
pre-show.
the fucking pre-show.
Um,
That's 1 hour less than WrestleMania. Like, what the hell?
I know. Overall though, I thought it was.
That is 11 hours of wrestling in 24 hours.
Well, I have it worse. You want to hear my list? I like try to count up these wrestling hours because I'm probably gonna screw it up. We're not gonna count the hours I watched the Macho Man Randy Savage. I watched 3 hours of Raw, an hour of NXT, an hour of that WrestleMania Today show on Thursday, and then I watched 2 hours of SmackDown. I watched an hour of WrestleMania Today on Friday, and then I watched 2 hours of TNA on Saturday because I forgot to watch it. And then I watched this. So how much do you think that is?
That's 15 hours of wrestling in 1 week. Well, not even yet. You're gonna have 21 hours of wrestling in 1 week. So congratulations, bro.
I know.
Imagine if you watch the Indies.
I
You'd be
know.
fucking blown out.
I know. I know. And then I have Raw on Monday to watch.
Oh yeah, so that's 24, a whole day of wrestling if you think about it non-stop.
We just did math.
Yeah, there you go. Free math lesson for you.
But yeah, so where's your excitement level at now for Mania?
8.7.
What was it before?
8.5.
Yeah, this whole week of wrestling definitely helps.
Yeah.
Alright, so that's the Hall of Fame. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
No.
Yeah, there's nothing because we pretty much have been talking all week, so we have nothing to talk about. And if you want, I have to get to bed because I have to get up at like 9 to set up for my little WrestleMania party tomorrow, which you can't come, by the way.
Why not?
Unless you can get here by like 5.
Dude, I can.
Huh?
You don't know? Yeah, dude, I can.
Do you want to try to come? I mean,
Yeah, all I gotta do is call up my buddy Flash, and he'll just jump on his back, and then he'll send me.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome. Um, now you have to watch. How are you gonna watch the Kids' Choice Awards now? Did you record
I'll
it?
watch it tomorrow.
Did you record it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. At least you get a nice break from wrestling.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you a story though. My mom is a Walking Dead fan too, and she wanted me to. She asked me because the big season finales tonight, the day of WrestleMania, the same time WrestleMania is going to be happening, and she asked me, "What are you doing next week? You want to watch The Walking Dead?" And I laughed in her face because I thought she was joking because obviously I'm not going to ditch WrestleMania.
Miss WrestleMania, yeah.
Wait, what did she say?
She basically asked you, you're gonna miss WrestleMania.
Yeah, that's why I laughed. I laughed in her face about that.
Yeah, and it's a freaking school night, so you can't watch it after it's off.
I, and then yeah, and then I told my friend today that Walking Dead is like TNA compared to WrestleMania this Sunday. Like it's like isn't that true? And on Facebook, they've been posting these things like The Walking Dead's gonna take over TV on Sunday. So then I comment down, no, it's not. WrestleMania is taking over the TV, even though
Pay-per-view.
well, technically, huh?
Said it's on pay-per-view and the network for $9.99.
Yeah, but they say that pretty much everyone's gonna be talking about The Walking Dead on Sunday. But I'm like, nope, everyone's gonna be talking about Mania.
Yeah.
So, yeah, sorry. Hate to crush all you Walking Dead fans out there, even though technically I am one. But when it comes to wrestling fan that cancels out The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
But yeah. I think we just did more math, by the way, when I said canceled out. I don't know if that's technically math, but you know who I'm surprised wasn't at the Hall of Fame? We didn't see him at all. Was Seth Rollins, by the way, because I see him on your picture.
It was Dean Ambrose, I don't think.
I'm surprised they referenced that John Cena and Nikki Bella were dating. Were you?
No.
I like me and my friend were talking about how they're just gonna have Nikki Bella show up by herself, and then she'll just go with Cena when she's done. And they made it seem like that Lita showed up by herself.
Yeah.
I don't think she did though. I don't think like, oh, I'm gonna show up to the Hall of Fame all by myself. What was up? What was up with that Vines thing, by the way? That was like a waste of time. Do you remember they had like this Vine like machine thing? Do you remember?
Yeah.
It was kind of weird. Who was at the Hall of Fame tonight that you weren't expecting to be there?
Shawn Michaels.
And who was there that you weren't expecting to be? No, wait. Who wasn't there that you were expecting to be there?
Dean Ambrose.
He might. I want to.
Oh, my phone's gonna die, and I'm on my phone right now.
All right. I was talk to you later. So, is there any plugs? Any plugs?
Find me on YouTube, Jamaya Pin WWE. Gotta go. Peace out.
And subscribe to Wrestling. Bye. Subscribe to Wrestling Fortune 44. See you later.